Hi, it's Dave Johan for the Boxing Voice with Dean Whyte. How are you, Dean?
I'm good. How you doing, bud? You alright?
Yeah, good. Considering the lockdown and stuff, keeping safe. I hope you and your family are keeping safe too.
Yeah, I am. Cheers. Thanks very much. Hope the same for you and your family and stuff.
Good stuff. So, I mean, look, your stable of fighters, Dillian Whyte, Shaq and Peters, how are you keeping yourself motivated and also Dillian, Shakan and the other stable motivated during these difficult times?
Most of the athletes, they're motivated anyway. They're self-motivated. If you're a professional and, this is a testing time for the mental strength of an athlete anyway, to make sure, they're keeping in the gym and trying to be as healthy and in shape. Dillian doesn't need any form of motivation. He's over there in Portugal at the minute. Obviously, with a good team, he's set up camp over there. And anyone who watches, his Instagram will see he's training 2-3 times a day and eating and cooking and enjoying himself. Shakan is still ticking over as well. He's another one who's like that as well. He was on the brink of fighting for a British title, so he's on the cusp of starting to move up the ladder. So he knows what's at stake. So he's continuing to train. The likes of Steve Woodall as well. He lives the life. He's been out a long time now. He was literally about to, get out there and start fighting. Probably actually he was going to be out there in May, and now it's all been pushed back. But he's still living really clean and training all the time and doing his runs and stuff. But most of these guys, I check in on them, and obviously they're on the social media, so I kind of see what a lot of the boys are doing anyway.
Yeah.
And those who ain't on there as active, I try and, give them a little word and say to them, well, listen, this is your time to be learning stuff. It's not time to relax because, you're at home. It's time for you to, maybe shadow box, get your little small dumbbells out, practice, go on your runs and practice your sport, because what it is, when this is all over, there's going to be a lot of boys that are going to get caught up because, they're going to be at home with family and kids. It's going to be difficult to train and be in the best physical shape you can possibly be. So, I'm sure with the promoters and some other stuff, the guys who are fit and raring and ready are the guys who's going to be pushed on ASAP, if you get my meaning, So most of the guys are chomping at the bit, A lot of people want to get back out and get back to boxing and are very, very much back in love with the sport because it's been taken, the rug's been pulled under their feet, so suddenly because of this pandemic. It's a strange time, but like I said, all the boys are virtually, if they're not in the gym, they do their road run, they get their exercise, they're working at home, and they're keeping a good, strong mindset.
It's good to see that Dillian is still training. I mean, what kind of stuff is he doing? Because he was due to fight Povetkin, wasn't he? If this never happened on May the 2nd, it's been rescheduled now to July the 4th. What kind of stuff is he doing?
July the 4th,
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, he's doing a full fight camp preparation, He's not messing about. He's in full flow anyway. So I think he's just going to march on and continue to try and, bring out the best he can in himself in terms of, when you remember back to Saudi, he wasn't best pleased because he was at 2.5, 2 stone overweight.
Yeah.
And he managed to grind out the win just being a tough, gritty sod he is. But, he wants to make sure his weight's going to be on point. He's going to look the part and, technically sound. So he's over there in the sun. He's training. His whole strength and conditioning team is there. The trainer's there. One of the trainers is there. And he's got his sparring partners who are just working, technical stuff and doing stuff. He's got a few little boys there. So he's good. Right now, he's just over there just ticking over,
Oh, good stuff. I mean, another thing that he said in the press a few days ago, I think it was as well, regarding he'd come out and fight UFC champion Stipe Miocic. I mean, I can't pronounce the name.
Stipe.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I mean, I don't follow UFC myself. However, is that something that he's considering? Is that something he's considering?
Listen, the can man. He loves all the smoke, man. He loves it. Listen, he's always bringing the smoke to whatever platform he can bring it to. Yeah, but I'm sure if that fight was able to be made, he'd like to do that. He's done MMA in the past, but when Steve Stipe Miocic. He's an animal, obviously. He's the baddest man on the planet, as they say in UFC. UFC and boxing is two different things. They have to find a happy medium ground. Obviously, Dill was a good kickboxer. And obviously now he's a top-level boxer, so maybe you'd want to do it maybe as a kickboxing, boxing match. So there's a happy medium. Or you could just do it as a boxing match like Floyd and McGregor did, because obviously trying to get in and start wrestling with some collegiate college wrestler who's done wrestling all his life is a big, hard feat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Even though...
And I think he was talking about Francis Ngannou, another absolute monster in... that division in the heavyweight MMA, you know what I mean? And I tell you what, UFC is not a joke, you know what I mean? But what I would say is, on that note, Dill used to be a bad boy kickboxer, and he had some great low kicks and some hard kicks, you know what I mean? So, and some knees and elbows, so he'd have to dust off the little cobwebs off that and get back to his good old kicking days, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that's been considered, rumour mills and so on and so forth, is boxing possibly coming back behind closed doors and everything like that. I mean, with the UFC as well, Dana White was talking about hosting it on a private island. Do you see boxing in the next few months coming back behind closed doors, or do we need everything, the crowd, the refs, the journalists?
Do you know what? In the early stages, it is a possibility. It depends. When all this lockdown situation starts to change and they start to relax the conditions somewhat. I heard that it was today or tomorrow. No, it was Monday or Tuesday, actually, I heard it. So it was yesterday. Today we was going to hear something, how long it was going to be extended for. I'm sure it was going to be extended for a further 4 weeks or 3 weeks. So, and then we'll start to get clearer indications. But I got a feeling that we're going to probably be in this position until mid-May sometime, if not later. So, I guess if they do go into June and then it starts to relax, and then the conditions, they might want to put on closed events where it's just a selected few in there, because you'd think after 2 months we'd have a clear indication on what's actually occurring. Is this virus still alarming as it was like 2.5 months ago, from when we're talking about the beginning of the year, however it was, you know what I mean? Because if you look at China, they've got it all under control now, and the people that are back out and back working and everything's normal. And they did that quite quickly. Yeah. Over, I think it was an 8-week period, was it, or even 10? And now they're back out and everything's back to normal. Maybe, but what they're saying over here is that we didn't kind of jump on it straight away, and obviously people are still out and about, etc., etc. So maybe that's why it might be taking a little bit longer to maybe get to that part. But I'm not really sure. But that's something obviously only time will tell on what they plan to do. But potentially, maybe easing it back in with closed door events. But really and truly, if you're doing it like that, that's only potentially will suit pay-per-view fighters, really. Yeah. In terms of the smaller show promoters, it's not going to suit them at all. You know what I mean?
No, because you need the gate, don't you? You need the gate sales.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a tricky one, you know what I mean, at the minute. But what we'd like to hope is that, first and foremost, that we get this thing under control, and there isn't any risk factor to anyone's health and safety. First, So I mean, we've got to look at what's the options. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, in an ideal world as well, there was talks of Dillian definitely 100% fighting for the WBC title in was it 2021? Wasn't it as early as that?
February,
Yeah. I mean, with this happening, do you see that still taking place, or with the anticipated rematch between Fury and Wilder? I mean, they're saying that could be postponed as well. Does Dillian still get the shot in 2021?
No, I don't know if it's going to be postponed any further, because obviously they've moved it back to, what is it, October the 7th now, is it? Or,
October.
October the 3rd or somewhere. Yeah. One of them dates anyway. I think it's probably the 3rd anyway, yeah. So, I mean, I can't see there being any issue really later down in the year that they'd have to postpone it again. when you look at it, that date's been set in stone for some time now. Only thing that could really put a spanner in the works is if they was to sanction the unification fight between the winners of that fight and Anthony Joshua and Pulev, you know what I mean, whoever won that fight. So it could be that, but then obviously, you know, it'd be just more injustice if you had to wait even longer than that date, you know. Obviously, given the circumstance and what's gone on, anything could happen, and they'd say, you know, that obviously because of this, we need to move the post somewhere to give it a fair shot for everyone. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that, you know, Dillian wouldn't be too happy with that, and the rest of the team, I'm sure, would not be looking at that, because obviously this has been set in stone for a while, and it's been a very, very long time coming. So,
yeah, it's been
one of those. But I think it should be alright, because if they fight then, he's going to have, you know, a good 5 months or so, is it?
Yeah.
About 4 months or so, yeah, you know. So, but we got to see. We got to see what happens, because in, you know, whatever we anticipate, you know, we didn't anticipate this coronavirus situation.
No.
So, you know what I mean? So, the reality is anything could change in the world we know it as and living at the moment, you know. So I don't think we should be planning too far ahead and thinking. And then boxing itself, it has its own not fairy tale, I'd say, its own plan and ups and downs and so on. So, you know, because I've said it before, for some reason, I imagine Deontay Wilder turns around and wins this fight. Do they go and do a full fight? You know, that would throw that apple cart would be really kicked over, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, do you see a possibility where Deontay Wilder does beat Fury, or do you think it's a full conclusion now where Fury is...
Listen, he's called the Bronze Bomber for a reason. That power he holds in that hand is, you know, it means something. But what I'd say is that for me, though, I don't see that him possessing the skill enough to beat the likes of Fury. He's been beat soundly twice. But anything's possible. But that when you hold that kind of power, it is possible. I think given the time now that he's been given to kind of go back to the drawing board, if he takes this time and uses it wisely, and maybe kind of, you know, draws in someone else to come into his team that he's going to listen to and that he's going to respect, and then bringing it back to basics with him, back to right back to the basics, you know, footwork, using his jab, and just you know, working on stuff from the beginning instead of just relying solely on that one punch. You've come across a man that wasn't scared, would sit in the pocket, would trade with you, would go down, would get up not once, I think, twice. You know what I mean? So he's not afraid of you. So you've got to get past that now, that you know it's just not enough, your right hand. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
It's definitely interesting, you know what I mean?
It's an intriguing one. But, Dean, look, thanks for all your time today. Any shout-outs or any positivity for the listeners out there?
Do you know what? You know, everyone just kind of keep the faith. What I'd like to say is people do your exercises, try and get a fine balance on whatever it is you're doing. If you're drinking a bit much at home, like myself sometimes, find the balance in the exercise and the training and the eating, and try and stay as healthy and positive as you can. You know, just follow the journey with all the boys coming through. Steve Woodall on Instagram, Chakan, Ife, who's coming up, he's a cruiserweight. He was meant to fight on the Usyk. And
to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.